Greetings, everyone. Nathan Nerdarch here from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with a bunch of nerds.
Next, Dave. Nerdarch is Ted.
And today we're going to be talking about absolute alignment versus variable alignment.
Jump down in the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips as well as learn how to game with us.
So you brought this topic up, and you started describing it to us, and I'm like, it really it's like the age old conflict when it comes to alignment. Like, there's definitely different schools of thought on this. When you're at the gaming table, there's definitely those players that are like, no, you're lawful good, you're lawful stupid. This is how it goes. You can't do anything else. And then there's like this more realistic. I think more realistic, real to life variation where, you know, if you're lawful good, you're not like 100% lawful good all the time. You know, like, you can be a little bit chaotic evil sometimes.
I literally wrote alignment fight for the title of this video.
Okay.
Because I knew it was going to happen.
All right. At our gaming table, we've had a paladin who has gone completely apeshit bonkers on one of our missions. And I'm probably thinking you guys are knowing where I'm going, but if not, I'm talking about Mike's character. And he's playing a paladin.
I don't know, Mike. I only know Psycho.
Oh, Psycho then.
Okay, we're talking about Psycho. I was like, Mike.
Psycho.
Yeah, okay.
So we're killing, I think it's orcs at this point in time. And, well, we've killed all of the grown men, and we get to an area that's full of women and children. And without skipping a beat, I think you were DMing at the time, Dave. He's like, all right. He drops his die for an attack roll, and we're like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, they're orcs. I'm killing them. And it's like,
they're
what?
evil. Yeah.
So his rationale was, I'm a lawful good. Orcs are evil. I kill orcs. No line in the sand. It's just there.
Now, and we've talked about this before, and I've seen people say that's wrong. They played the paladin wrong, but it's not, because here's why: because he played an ideology, right? Mm-hmm. And good men do horrible things for the right reasons.
Yes. And it's loaded all in our own history. So
yes, so you know, you can absolutely play it that way, and that is taken it to the extreme, and there is no variables there or variation whatsoever. It's just there is black and white and nothing else.
And he was being lawful good to him.
Yes,
to that
saying,
specific character.
Evil things die, good things live. Check.
Yeah.
So, everything's been checked off.
And also,
paladin.
what he also did, what that character also said with those action wise, when in the argument of nurture versus nature does not exist. There is just nature.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, these things can only be evil. And really, R.A. Salvatore did a little bit of that in his own book, the Demon Wars trilogy, mm-hmm. Where he had, you know, his version of elves, which are much more like fake creatures, more like sprites or pixie type creatures, where they talked about trying to bring in evil creatures into their society, like prowies and giants and goblins, and figured, hey, if we can raise them right, they'll be good, but they always turned out to be evil. So, like, you know, there's another concept there of someone else going, you know, in my world, it's this.
And that kind of is on the flip side, that kind of, you know, variable alignment. You can have. I always feel like, you know, when you go with that type of ideology for paladin, it's like a cardboard cutout. I feel like of a character. I don't like.
It's a caricature.
Yeah, it's a caricature. I was thinking about when you guys were talking about the pacifist video, and I was just like, it drives me crazy. And Ted and I were talking about it earlier. I'm just like, why would he do that? Like, how cityfied and like closed off and like someplace you have to be to have that kind of mindset. But I was like, you know, what was this paladin being taught that's totally acceptable to just?
He's Gandhi, man. Essentially, right?
So I'm going to continue on with the paladin thing.
Yeah.
So with that idea, it's kind of easy to say, you know, oh, he's ignorantly killing people that have a right to live. But what was it, like Tolkien-esque orcs are very much like twisted, warped, terrible things.
Right.
I mean, like, they get born out of that weird sack thing and kill things. You know, that's what they want to do. So I found like there's a difficulty, and then you have the like, chaotic evil guy, like kick his grandma down the stairs kind of personality. Is like, well, he's got to be good to somebody. even if it's themselves. Like,
well, here you go. Right, I just saw a movie last night. Took the family out. We went and saw Suicide Squad. Right.
okay, I haven't seen it yet. I'd like to.
And the perfect example is like the Joker's kind of horrible to everybody, but he can be nice to Harley Quinn sometimes, but only to be nasty other times. And then Harley Quinn is psychotic in her own right, and can go either way as well. So it's not all or nothing. It can be on a whim. Like Harley Quinn decided to kind of save the world because, well, what else am I going to do? There's nothing. Literally have nothing better to do.
Yeah. Well, aside from the fiends and the Celestials, they're kind of like stamped in a mold to be certain ways. They're kind of like the internal alignment. I feel like they're the absolutes.
Yes, I would agree with that. Those things are made to deal with that. So their actions are always going to be in accordance with what their alignment is.
I would disagree. They're not made to be of that. They're born of that.
Okay.
They're like the living embodiment.
So then when you have...
Yeah, they're made up of the stuff.
When you have mortals, like, okay, well, on a general idea, I am this alignment. Well, if this is your alignment, you're going to do this, and it's just fine. At the end of the day, you're probably going to balance things out to there, or maybe it's at the end of the week, or the end of the month, or end of the year. You're gonna stay within that spectrum, and
we got quotas to make. We got quotas to make, boys.
And I
gotta carry some groceries for somebody or something. It's the end of the month.
There might be times where it's like, all right, you've been pushed and pushed and pushed, and you go out to that extreme. Well, when those extreme examples happen and you're willing to step that far out of your alignment, well, you're going to course correct and probably do more on this side or vice versa to kind of counterbalance to get to what you would consider your norm.
Well, I think you could also have, rather than trying to make a sum-zero line of it, you'd have issues where you've done something or haven't done something, and it's conflicting in yourself.
Yeah, yes.
You'd have, by having that kind of variable alignment we're talking about with mortals, you have that you're thinking something or feeling something and you've acted out, or haven't done something. Maybe you were too cowardice as far as you're concerned for your upbringing, and you let something bad happen, and that's weighing on you. And then you've got this, well, do I try and do something to negate that, which, based on how you think, doesn't actually help your mindset. I mean, It could be alignment-wise, it's like, oh yeah, we're all even now. I'm still kind of within the range of neutral good or something, or chaotic.
Alignment has now basically been relegated to an autism spectrum. Not that autism is funny, but so for instance, you can have a chaotic evil character that is lawful good to one person. Right, because they love that person, they care about that person.
Right.
Or maybe a small set of people, that they hold to a high esteem and they care about deeply. But anyone else, they're murdering grandmoms and pushing over baby car carriages.
If you're not on my friends list, you're not a person.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of mentality.
They just don't care. Or just in the same token, you could be lawful good and lose your temper. And do something rash that you regret deeply afterwards. And part of the thing with alignment too is not so much what you do, but it's also how you deal with it after you've done it.
Yes.
Are you remorseful? Do you care? Chaotic evil is going to do whatever they do, and they probably won't care that much about it at the end of the day.
Put their feet up and relax after murdering a couple children.
Well, now they've got their own set of rules, though. Everybody's got their morality rules, even if it seems like they're completely immoral to everybody else.
I think
so. There's something that's going to be no, that's just wrong. That person has, even if you're chaotic evil as an individual, not let's say a fiend or something, but as an individual person, there's gonna be something that you'd be yeah, you crossed the line, and you're actually so bad, I'm going to kill you for justice. You shouldn't exist. There's going to be that kind of, there's always that one person worse than me.
Right.
That's crossed some kind of line. But, for the most part, they probably don't think about a lot. Did I do right today? They don't ask themselves that question much.
No, it's just your moral compass and how you gauge things. Are you more, are you more orderly, organized, and believe in societal laws, or are you more whimsical and do whatever? And then you have the range in between, and you can kind of bounce around, but overall you're going to stick to a certain area, and it doesn't have to be absolute. And I think that's kind of how we handle alignments more or less at our table. We've been gaming together for like 20 years or something, right? And we just recently seen the first forced alignment change ever at our table. When Scott's character just did a series of things, and it's like you're no longer lawful anymore. You can't possibly be.
I as Dave says, it's over 20 years that we've been gaming together, and it was too much for me, and I'm like, all right, you need to make this change, because this is so far askew of what is written on your sheet. And now he's like, well, do I have to go further?
Can I be the Dark Lord?
So I now need to walk on eggshells, because I don't know how far down he's willing to go.
Or how far does he want to go?
That's what I'm talking about. I don't know.
What you're saying is Aeson's giving you agita?
It's been agita for a while.
I think you're thinking about too much. Eventually, some NPC will come and squash him.
No, I don't want to disparage I was thinking earlier. I was like, that paladin is lawful good and kills orcs. No problem. Without blinking an eye. There is that kind of ease to play somebody like that and kind of have that black and white world. And I think a lot of stuff in D&D is kind of set up for that. Like, orcs are evil.
Absolutely.
Trolls are evil. They
totally Judge Dredd everything.
Yeah, I'm not like go in, sword and shield, blocking heads off.
I'm not saying that there's a problem playing with the absolutes. I
wanted to say that as well, that I don't think there's a problem playing.
I am saying that if you force people to play an absolute, where your alignment is this, you have to always do this.
So you're basically telling someone you're playing wrong if you don't do this action right now.
Right. So you guys can handle it however you want at your table, but as far as I'm concerned,
there's room for different play styles when it comes to alignment.
Yes.
I think that's what I heard you say.
I agree. So what do you guys think about the absolute alignment versus the variable alignment? Why don't you put your comments down below while you're at it? Like, share, and subscribe.
Check out us over at Facebook.
We're on Instagram.
So until next time, stay nerdy.